Hi everybody, it's Diane here with the Altered Book, and this was the golden age of radio, right? Radio's golden age. Get it right, Diane. So we have pictures of radio personalities, most of which I do not know. And I kind of hated to cover them up. I mean, they're, real people with real stories, and I think we know who this is. Doesn't look like her. That's Sally on the Dick Van Dyke Show. Rosemary. Anyway, so I was just going to leave them. But they are rather dull. I don't mean the people. I mean, it's just black and white pictures. There's nothing going on. So I cut out a bunch of scrapbook paper embellishments. So we're going to glue and chit-chat and then take it from there. This might be enough. I don't know how far I want to take this. If I think it's lacking, I can add more embellishments. I can add stamping or washi or markers cross my mind. However, I don't know if it would go through. I wouldn't do dark markers. So there. And I'm starting with these flowers because of the page on the left is mostly pink. I've heard of Kenny Baker. He was a singer. He's in, unless it's a different one, Harvey Girls with Judy Garland. He was on the Jack Benny Show, and then Dennis Day replaced him. And they used to make jokes about, getting rid of Kenny. All right, well, that's a little dull, but let's move on. So I've heard of him. Fred Waring, I've heard of him. He has something to do with music. I don't know, was he a conductor, band leader, something like that? I haven't heard of any of these people. Oh, William Bendix, I know he's an actor. He made some movies. He's in a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court with Bing Crosby. Other than that, I don't know. Well, we just had flowers. These little stars just happened to be on another paper. I normally would not have cut out little wonky blue stars. But since they were on something else I wanted, I cut out little blue wonky stars. And I don't know how these people rated getting the pictures in here. They were friends of the author, I guess. I don't know. Athena. Well, you want to talk about weather? The four-letter word rain comes to mind. It's fine right at this moment, but we have had so much rain this past week, and like last night, that it's actually not funny. There's a lot of flooding around. I mean, nothing horrible, but viaducts closed, roads closed, stuff like that. Oh, what fun. Looks like Bob Hope there, doesn't he? Okay. Well, how about something different? How about some houses over here? This has got a weird, I don't know what that is on it. Let's get rid of that. So how many pages are left in this book? I don't know. It's not much, but I know there's quite a few past this. I may glue some together. And it's cheating. No, not when your book is getting bulky. It's not cheating. Oh, he's also in Woman of the Year with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. That's a good movie. Okay. Let's a little lacking, but we'll move on. Oh, Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Everybody should know them. Rudy Valley. And for this one, I had flipped through, I saw this. He was Baloo the bear in the Jungle Book, the voice, and also Little John in the Disney Robin Hood, who happened to be a bear. So I found a bear. They were married a long time. In case you don't know, she was a singer and an actress, and then they had a radio show that I've mentioned before. I think it's pretty darn funny. It's not too dated, really. What's his name? Yeah, Elliot. What? You know, the guy that played Remley. Uh-huh. I know it. The name escapes me. Anyway, it's this guy that played a kind of smart alecky, always in on a scheme, you know, sidekick who's very funny. And he was in all kinds of radio shows and did TV directing and stuff later. Oh, God. Elliot Lewis, is that his last name? I'll have to look that up. Diane, we have no idea what you're talking about. Probably not. And he was always on like get rich quick schemes and stuff, and roping Phil into it. It's funny, trust me. Am I right? Nobody knows the answer to this. I think Gail Gordon was on that. He played his boss? Maybe? Oh, and that Walter Tetley, he's really funny. He's on it too. He played like a teenager kind of neighbor that was in love with Alice and didn't like Phil, and very smart alecky. So Diane likes that, right? Okay. I never heard of any of those people. Sorry. I don't know. I may go touch up. Something seeped through there once upon a time. We may just have to touch that up. I mean, it's paint. I don't know from what page. Ralph Locke likes his books. All about modern decorating. The Spirit of Hawaii. Encyclopedia of Things. Is that what that says? I'm not sure. I can't read the other ones. Then who cares? I don't know. Might be interesting. You never know. No, we know. Pretty butterfly, isn't it? Scrapbook paper. Okay. What about the other side? Well, these flowers are pretty. These two I'm going to use here off the same paper. And actually, the back was really pretty. It's very springy plaid. So have you ever listened to an old radio show? Yeah, not super extensively. I think I've heard all the Jack Benny's. Well, I take it back. Some of those really early ones I haven't because the sound quality was kind of bad and I just didn't want to listen to it. It was hard to understand. I listened to most of the Phil and Alice. I listened to that Cinnamon Bear thing for Christmas. Did you ever hear that? For kids, it's interesting. I wasn't overly impressed, but for kids, it's good. I heard a couple of those, like, Playhouse things, like, was that Lux or something? You know what, Diane? We don't really care about that either. Okay. All right. We'll move on. Do these ever end? Yeah, they do. Oh, Jeanette MacDonald. She was a singer and a actress. Al Jolson. You know who that is. Little Jack Little. Did we mention that in the Honeymooners? When they're talking about all the old bands in that Young at Heart episode. Diane, what are you talking about? All right, let's get off all that. All right, let's talk about working in books. Some of you may have come to the conclusion, I'm not a huge fan of it. But that's what most of the glue book people do, right? And I'll give you my reasons. One, it always bulks up more than I thought it would. I don't like that. Two, it takes forever to fill it up. I don't like that. I'm a person that likes to finish things, so these go on and on. I mean, literally for years. I don't like that. If you do something that's so sensational and so great and you want to frame it or something, you're stuck because it's in a book. Oh, Don Amici. He's a famous actor. It gets hard to work in once it's bulky. I don't like that. Oh, Blondie. It's Arthur Lake and Penny Singleton. They were in the movies too. The Blondie movies, I mean. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. They get kind of heavy just because they're so bulky. I haven't had it happen, but there is a risk they're going to kind of start falling apart over time just because you took pages out, you know, kind of screwed up the integrity of the binding. So, that being said though, what are you going to do about it, Diane? If that's what most people do in videos, I don't know. I don't know. The composition books aren't so bad. They don't end up with this hard to work in thing. I'll give them that. Well, that's big of you, thanks. Alright, what else can we put on this page? How about these two? Actually, get back to those Blondie movies. Those were always on, like, Saturday morning movie, the local channel thing when I was a kid, or Sunday morning, something like that. I used to watch them. As a matter of fact, I still have it. It's a children's puzzle with, you know, like 50 pieces or something of a cartoon of that. It's Dagwood and his boss, and I forget, is the dog in it or something. It's Daisy. Okay. You said that was it. Okay. All right. Well, do we want to throw more on? Or do I want to do what I said with, like, markers or rubber stamps or something? It's a good question. Or we could just leave it as is. I didn't say that. Now let's add a couple more on these. Raleigh Bester. Her name is Raleigh. Or is it Rolly? Must have been from the 40s, huh, with her turban hat thing there. Yeah, Little Jack Little and his toy pianos. Norton say that? Diane, you're saying that stuff again. I know. Alright, those aren't too bad. Yeah, I could use something on these pages, but not that stuff. Clovers or shamrocks. Oh, one's a 4-leaf clover and one's a shamrock. Wow. Okay. Well, do you think rubber stamping, little doodad things around is going to make it too fussy? Because, like, like this picture, it's kind of a lot of stuff in it. Speaking to the flower. If you've seen Singing in the Rain, that makes me think of something, doesn't it? The microphone is in the bush. Yeah. Or I take it back. First it's in the flowers in her dress. Did you know that in very early talkies, if the actors are like standing by piano with a big floral display on it, that's because the microphone is in there. We've come a long way, haven't we? Well, that's kind of cute. I was just watching the original 1930 version of Holiday, and there's like 3 actors by I forget if it was really a piano or just a table, but you could kind of see, like, right on the table was a floral display, and I was kind of thinking, I wonder if there's a microphone in there. Diane wants to know. Let's do that. Oh, are the neighbors out? I may have to pause in a minute. They can be out. Stop. Alright, hang on. Okay, apparently my dogs are playing a trick on me. There was nothing out the window. Haha, we fooled her. It's so easy to do. I was thinking, well, in lieu of rubber stamping right this exact moment, what if we just kind of dotted in here and there with a marker? And this is definitely safe because there's stuff glued on the other side. Now, could you find a more exciting video today than this? I ask you. Diane, it wouldn't be hard. Yeah, I know. Let's do, I was going to go with the green. Let's go with the blue instead. So what would you do if these were your pages? I imagine some people would just take them out. Oh, we lost it. I've got one down there. So that's an oddball one. Yeah, it is. If I do green down there, will it look weird? Oh, I do, yeah. It does, it does. Okay, that's nice. This one, I did add a few more things just to be honest, to use them up. I had a couple left, but well, I don't know. I originally had thought of maybe going around the pictures with the color, and like this page would be fine. But you know, this one doesn't have a border. This one, is, you know, doesn't. So I kind of talked myself out of that. I didn't think that was going to work out. Well, what if we just added some flowers on this page and hope for the best and hope it doesn't go through. All right, stop growling at nothing. Talking to my dog, not you. Is that going through it all? No. Okay, good. Wearing your glasses, Diane? No. Nice Easter colors here, which I know it'll be long past by the time you see this, but they are. Okay. It's a tad light. We'll live with it. That one, I could stamp stars. How many stars do you have to have on a page? We may find out. Well, I have a solid one. Come here. Don't I have a different one somewhere? I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm doing anything. Well, this one. I think I might have a really little one. Let's try this one. Yeah, I think actually I take it back. Is it more like an asterisk? Might not be a star. All right, is that going through? Well, it's kind of under the bear. Good. No, I don't see it. Okay. Fine. All right, that's kind of cool. Okay. Would you color that in? I might, but I would wait till that ink sets. So we'll think about that. Okay, what about this side? Yeah, what about that side? Well, you could do smoke coming out of the chimney if you wanted, but that's the only one with a chimney. Well, what about flowers? And I could color those centers in too. Now does that show? Little bit. Actually, it looks nice. Almost looks like it's original to the book. Yeah, they had stamped flowers originally in this book. Here are my neighbor's ducks. I think they want to be let out of their pen. Yeah, it's nice duck weather, I'll give you that. And actually, this neighbor's yard that has the ducks, it does kind of flood a lot in the back. So I thought, well, of any yard to have a duck, or 2 or 4, it should be that one, right? Okay. That. Well, maybe just dots again. Then we've seen you do dots. Okay, I'm going to dot. I'm going to fill in colors. Listen to ducks, goof around, do a little housework. I'll come back and it should be done. Hang on. Okay, folks, this excitement is about to come to a conclusion. I did go around each page in a color. So we have this. We have this. And I did my trivia research for you. It's Ralph on The Honeymooners that mentions Little Jack Little. And then Norton says somebody else and his toy piano. So he did not have the toy piano. It was Elliot Lewis, I was right. Is that all? Is that the trivia we were discussing? Okay, folks, so just dolling up a few pages. You know, if you want to, this isn't my style, but you know, you could add hats to these people, mustaches, be silly, paint the background kind of crazy, paint their backgrounds, remove the pages like I said. So if you have something like that in your book, there are options. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day.